Hello, 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 everyone. My name is Tiffany Bell, and I am the host of the CEO Corner. And I am very excited to be able to introduce you all to one of our affirmations on a mission co-contributing authors, Dr. Sanja Stinson. Dr. Sanja Stinson has been a longtime supporter of Success Women's Conference. She's also appeared on the nonprofit CEO Summit. That was initially my first introduction, I believe, to Dr. Stinson. But she runs a nonprofit called Matthew House. She's also a she's a nonprofit coach. She is a speaker, a best-selling author. She has a lot going on for her, and so I want to take a moment out to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to get to know a bit about her, and then we will move in on to the show. So, Dr. Sanja Stinson, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad to have you here.
I am so glad to be here. It is an honor to be here. Tiffany, I thank you. And as you said, we met during your first CEO conference, which I don't know was about a year or so ago. And I was just so happy to see that someone has stepped into and really did something with the nonprofits. And so when I first saw your advertisement, I said, oh, right, this is right up my alley. And I was just a keynote speaker, which was one of the first things. And so I thank you. And I'm hoping that you're going to have something like that again this year.
Yes,
so that we will be able to really feature what nonprofits do and the hard work that we do, but not only the hard work that we do, but everything that happens in a nonprofit.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, your nonprofit, Matthew House. Tell our audience a little bit about Matthew House. What's your mission there? How long have you guys been serving your community, and where are you located?
Well, Matthew House is located in Chicago, Illinois, and we started the Windy City. We started our mission in 1991 with the vision. The vision comes first, and then you have to really begin to birth forth the mission. And so we started our mission in 1991 with no idea that the three African American men would meet me. And I had the experience of 7 or 8 years of working in another nonprofit and really building and helping them to rebuild a $2 million housing unit. At that time, I worked with individuals who are homeless. And so in 1992 is when we opened our first building in a rented space, Charlie Moore AME Church, for a pastor who had the favor and the compassion to let us in. And we are now 30 years old, located in a rich regentrification neighborhood called Bronzeville. We have been there for 30 years. Been in our current, we moved from a 1,000 square feet building, renovated a 7,000 square feet building. And that is our headquarters right now. We provide 2 hot meals a day, showers. We have a full medical and dental team. We have a full case management team. We have mental health, and we have legal services and a full staff. I think we're up to about 28 people. I'm not sure. About 28 people with close to a $3 million budget.
Okay, wow, you guys are doing some really great things, and a really nice sized nonprofit. Considering it's not a national, it's not a national brand. Now, what else I do remember reading, or perhaps we may have talked about this. I think that you come from a long line of entrepreneurs. I believe that that's a part of, your family line. Kind of talk to us a little bit about that, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I come from a very long line of entrepreneurs, starting with my mother's parents and my father's parents, who were farmers in their own right. And then my father and mother, who is not living right now, we come from a family of restaurant owners and it is well over 67 years old, which has been passed down to the children. The baby sister, as in the Bible,
Mhm.
inherit the actual restaurant, and she's now has franchises, doing a wonderful job. Many of my siblings have worked for the restaurant. I don't, it's not many of us that have corporate jobs. My father has always taught his children the gift of giving. And so we witnessed our father feeding the homeless, or our parents feeding the homeless over the counter. We had sit down restaurants. We witnessed our parents giving away pianos and feeding the pastor and teaching us lessons about giving and teaching us lessons about the importance of giving. And so we're 67 years old, and we're still African American owned on the west side. We also, my brothers have places in Atlanta, Georgia right now, which is opening up very soon. And so
Okay.
my life has been an entrepreneur. My father has taught us that we were created to make jobs and not just get a job. So I've had maybe one or two, maybe three corporate jobs in my life. The last one I got fired from, and that was my epiphany that I didn't belong here.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. I definitely want to hear that story. But one of the things that you said was that basically you watched your mother and your father not only work hard, but also give hard, which I'm
Yes,
assuming is really the thing behind the heart in regard to you working not only in a nonprofit, but you're a nonprofit coach, correct?
yes. I'm
All
a
right.
nonprofit coach. Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your coaching services. What types of clients do you typically work with? What areas of specialties? If anybody is out there that might have a nonprofit and would like to be able to work with you, kind of, talk a little bit around that for me.
Well, I work with individuals. Oftentimes, I work with individuals who are over the age of 40, who really want to get into the nonprofit world and understand the ins and outs, understand startups, how to sustain it. I really teach about sustainability. I teach a lot about do not chase the money. That is not a part of your mission. That's one thing Matthew House has never done. We probably could be a worldwide organization, but we did not chase the money, because in chasing the money, that money falls off, and then it has is I call it discombobulating your mission. So what I try to teach nonprofit upcoming executive is really be true to your mission, and when you're true to your mission, the money will come. Also, your population must mirror who you serve. So I really teach that. You cannot. For us, we work with individuals who are homeless, so 44% of our staff right now comes from our population. So we are the only daytime, and I say daytime supported service center in
Hmm.
Chicago that's not gender specific. I teach them in my Vision Unleashed is to understand the niche. So I get a lot of calls. I want to do a nonprofit, and I said, okay, what is the niche? Well, I want to do women and children. I said, well, where
Narrow that down a little bit.
right? Not only that, narrow it down. I said, but what is the difference between ABC's Women and Children down the street from you and your ABC? So, what niche are you planning to fulfill? That is the missing link that a funder will fund you. Because I caution them, the funders are very caution about funding duplicate services. And so, when individuals come to me about starting a nonprofit, no matter where it is, whether it's a traditional ministry, whatever it is, my question is, what is the niche you're fulfilling? When we think about nonprofits, I think about the larger picture of nonprofits. Also,
Hmm. Hmm.
I think about outside of the box, because nonprofits don't always have to be bricks and mortar. But nonprofits there are other levels of nonprofit that you can think about, such as counseling, substance abuse. Those are levels of nonprofits that you need to look at. But the most important thing that I teach everybody is understanding the niche, what needs to be fulfilled before you go out there. Because many think that, just because I'm a nonprofit, they're going to give money to me. And that's not true.
I love that. So, two key things that you said is one is mission over money,
Mhm,
always mission over money. And then secondarily, it's knowing your market. And in
mhm,
knowing your market, it is not just the people that you are serving, but really like the market in which you're located in, so that again you aren't recreating the wheel, so to speak. And so, love all of that. All those things are definitely very important when it comes to nonprofits. But now let's circle back around to the little story that you hinted at just a moment ago. Kind of tell us, about your experience in regard to being let go and from a corporate entity.
I was one of the things that I did
Yeah.
tell my father with his 14 children is that his desire
Oh, hold up.
wa-
14 children.
yes,
Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. What
you know,
number are you in those
one set of
14?
twins, one set of twins. I'm a twin.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's right. I forgot
Yes,
about
um, is that I because we started working at a very early age because that was the way we were to build habits
that.
and good habits. And so
Yeah.
we had some summer, but we were required to work. So I knew that I did not want to fry chicken, which is what we did. I had that epiphany when I was about 16, 17 years old. Say, I don't want to fry no more chicken. But so I ventured off into college and did all of the things that I wanted to do, and then got a couple of corporate jobs. And if I'm talking here, all both of them I got fired from. Okay, and
Okay.
the last one that I was dismissed for had a wonderful review. I think it was more than some color issues, and I'll say that loudly. But
Okay.
when I got fired from that, the epiphany was I don't belong here, and so it took me some time to really search and really understand that I know I didn't want to fry chicken, and I love my parents' chicken, but I love it, but my body doesn't love it anymore, so I can't eat a whole lot of it. So I knew that the epiphany that I got is that I went to my parents at that time, and my mother was living, and my mother says, "Okay, well, what are you going to do?" Because of course, when you get lose your job, you go back home, you got to pay rent, and so I remember telling them clearly, "I'm going to take care of the poor."
Mm.
And my father fell out. He said, "You're going to do what? Well, how are you going to eat?" I said, "I don't know." So I ventured out and began to start volunteering. I
Mhm.
volunteered at the Red Cross. I volunteered at all of the places that I thought I wanted to volunteer until I landed at a place in the city of Chicago where I had finally found my niche in helping homeless women. I loved it. I would travel all the way from my home for hours. I would serve, and I did it free for many, many years. Okay. And that's when I discovered this is what I love. You cannot do nonprofit ministry, business, unless you love it. Because in the nonprofit, you must love people. Approached by three African American men about 7 years into my tenure with the women's shelter, and asked me what was the niche, what was missing on the south side of Chicago. Well, by that time, I knew what was missing. I said, what's missing is that we pay them to go to sleep at night and we pay them to sit around in the daytime. I said, where does someone go who is homeless, who does not have a mailing address, public aid has to get in touch with them, or Social Security? I said, what we need is a daytime supported service center for individuals so that they can begin to take back control of their life. And that was the niche that was unfulfilled in Chicago at the time. It was so powerful that one day I stood up at a meeting, and at that time they were called drop in centers. I stood up, and the commissioner of the Department of Human Services, I said, my name is Reverend Stinson at that time, and I am from Matthew House. And I proudly stood up and said, a daytime supported service center for individuals who are homeless. She hauled off. She said, I like that. 18 months later, everything had to have supported services that was in the daytime. And to make a long story short, there was 15 or 16 that popped up. 10, 15 years later, because funding dried up and people chased money and we didn't, those are now closed. We are the only one standing that's non-gender pacific, which means that we serve anyone that walks through our doors, and there are no barriers to our services.
So what you're saying, as far as daytime, that basically means that you guys not only you help them be able to receive mail. Like, just the little things that most of us kind of take for granted, because we do have a place to lay our heads down at night. I've never given a second thought to, if I needed to, one, take a shower, so I'm assuming that you guys have facilities for that. Two, if I do need to, send any type of correspondence, being able to receive my mail, that's a big deal. I'm assuming as well, like if they, in order for them to even get a government issued ID, they need to have an address,
Yes.
right? And so, okay, so you guys are able to provide services along those lines. So, what do you do? Do you guys do anything, or I'm assuming that perhaps you have some partners in your community as far as just kind of helping them be able to maybe secure some type of, as far as jobs, be able to reestablish income. How do you guys help with that, or how do you at least connect them with other establishments that might kind of help with some of the other needs that they have around the major need of just simply having somewhere to rest their head at night?
Well, the major need is that you talked about, let's back up a little bit. Yes, we have showers, clean clothes, a learning center, a
Hmm.
job center. We have
Hmm.
a full staff mailing room. Okay,
Oh wow.
we have they're able to get IDs. We are partners with the Secretary of State. We're partners
Hmm.
with the City of Chicago's birth certificate. So
Okay.
all of their mail, so
Certificate.
we're partners with Social Security.
Hmm.
All of their mail comes to Matthew House and
Okay.
is safe. Okay.
Hmm.
As far as jobs, we work with all of our um, individuals. We work with our neighborhood. We work with our construction people. Um, we have 73 units of housing. So we're not only a daytime, it was about 2010 when I looked at what was missing again. I
Hmm.
understand the niche and I understood what was in the atmosphere.
Hmm.
Also, I knew that the funders were more towards bricks and mortar and they
Yeah.
wanted to end homelessness. And so my next epiphany and the next niche that we had to fulfill is to provide housing. We started with 10 units of housing in 2010. We're now at 73 units of housing and growing. However, we also partner with Section 8. We also partner with a lot of the landlords. And outside of the 73 that we're responsible for, just this year and in the middle of the pandemic, we have placed over 98 people in housing.
Oh,
Now,
wow, that is an accomplishment. So let me ask you this. If someone is listening and they would like to be able to give, they want to support what you're doing, where would you direct them?
you can go to the Matthew House website and it's mhchicago.org. That's mhchicago.org. And you can give that way.
All
Okay.
right. I love
You
that.
can give us a mailing address at 3728 South Indiana Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60653. I have been there 30 years, well, 30 plus years now. And I am, as I tell people, are you near retirement? I'm near step down. We have successors in place. I'm very happy for that. One thing I don't want to do is I don't want my legacy to die with me. So I must begin to look at what's next. And for nonprofit founders, that is very hard to do. And that's something
Oh,
I
yes. That is something that they really
very
have to kind of
difficult to do
be intentional to do.
when that's your baby. It
Yes.
is hard.
Yes.
So it's a difficult journey.
Yes, yes.
Really,
Let's transition at this point, Dr. Sanja, because we have 10 more minutes and we got a lot more that I want to
I
make sure
know.
they hear about you, right? So, you have something new that's happening. I want to make sure that we have an opportunity for you to share what's happening with you and your ladies. And I'll let you, I'll give you the mic. You have the floor for a couple of minutes. Let's tell them what you got going on. What's
Well,
happening this week?
as I mentioned, Tiffany, I'm also an author. I'm a best-selling author, and
Mm-hmm.
I love to write. So this week we are releasing my first anthology project called Disrupting the Status Quo: Entrepreneur Women Crushing Mediocrity and Maximizing Your Potential. Now, where did I come up with this idea? Because women, we are disruptors, okay? A disruptor knows their purpose and everything they do aligns with their vision. These 21 women are disruptors in their own right. Entrepreneur are women who are not just tied to brick and mortars, which is me, but they are women who are often on types of projects, and each project is completed. So it's not just being an entrepreneur, but being an entrepreneur. But
Yes.
means that we want we work on projects, and we have the vision for projects. And so this book is being released on Thursday for an Amazon
Yay.
bestseller. And you can get this book and go to either my all the social media outlets I'm on, or my website at uh, at Dr. Sanja. That's all one word, DrSanja.com, and connect with any of the co-authors. We also have t-shirts, we also have mugs, we have so many opportunities for you to participate. But what I love about this book is that the stories within this book is going to just encourage you that you too are a disruptor, that you too can maximize your potential. That is okay not to accept the norm. It's okay to be that person that sets the norm and be a disruptor.
Oh, I love that. You said maximize your potential, which I think is an excellent lead into the next segment for today's show, which is our affirmations for Women on the Mission Journal.
Yes,
So
yes, so
Dr. Sanja is one of your, I think one of your coworkers, maybe one of your
yes,
staff members, maybe one of the authors for this journal in particular. But Dr. Sanja is a part of the one that's coming up, which is affirmations of a CEO on the move. Again,
yes.
affirmation of a CEO on the move. And so, Dr. Sanja, I'd like for you to take just a few minutes out, and I want you to kind of talk directly to any woman that might pick up this journal or the affirmations of a CEO on the move. Share your affirmation, share with them how this affirmation has made a difference, in your life, and then of course some practical application for them, so that again they can get all the help and encouragement they need to move from point A in their life to point B.
Well, let me share with you about my affirmations and what I always say. First of all, I realize that I am more than a conqueror. And I often tell myself every morning, in fact, every morning, I get up and I say, I'm anointed for this day. I'm going to conquer this day. I am prepared for this day. And the Bible teaches us that I'm not just a conqueror, but I'm more than a conqueror. So whatever I have to face every day in nonprofit, because there are a lot of uncertainty sometimes, I can conquer it because I know that I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Also, I recognize that I was built for this. I know that God has placed me in this position of CEO on the move. And when there are challenges, when there are stoppages, when there are things that some would worry about, I often remind our Creator, I was created for this. You clearly said to me that if I took care of the poor, that you would take care of me. And so for the majority of my life, I have been a woman on a mission. And that mission has not changed. That mission is to always encourage other women that you can do it. And if anything, with the unprecedented season that we've been in with COVID-19 that has disrupted the world, it's been unprecedented. We have to know that we still have a mission. And as women, that and this is our season, Do not be afraid to walk in a new season. I used to be gripped with fear. Fear no longer grips me. I get up in the morning and say, I am prepared for this day. This is a new season. He says in his word, new mercies I see every day. And those are the things that I count on. When I walk in this mission, when I accepted this mission, I told the Lord, God, I am fiercely and wonderfully made for the journey that you have me on. And anyone out there that is right now not sure and maybe going through some things, you must remind yourself. I love self talk. It's okay to do self talk. It's okay to remind yourself who you are and whom you are and who you belong to. It's okay to remind yourself that you are fiercely and wonderfully blessed. It's okay to remind yourself that you are a woman on a mission, and that mission would not be completed without you. It's okay to self talk yourself and say, yes, I'm more than a conqueror. We've been taught not to begin to talk to ourselves, but it has taken me years to begin to know who I am, to know whose I am, and to know my purpose. And I am walking in my purpose on a mission. It's been said that when you get between the age of 60 and 80, those become your most profitable years. I'm here to tell you, women, those are our most profitable years. So if you're out there right now, repeat with me, I'm more than a conqueror. I was built for this.
Uh-uh.
I'm walking in my new season, and I'm a woman on a mission. Thank you, Tiffany.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You are a woman on the mission. Now, for those of you who did not hear me at the very beginning, that said that that where I mentioned that she is a founding co-pastor. You know, you can hear it. Like it just comes out of her. It is who she is from her very core. So, love hearing all that you've shared tonight, Dr. Sanja. Very good job. Very empowering. Very inspiring. And I'd love that just reminding people to give permission that it's okay to talk to yourself. You are empowering yourself. David, what did he do? He encouraged himself whenever
Mhm.
he was dealing with some adversity in the
He
Old
gave
Testament.
himself
So
permission. He
yes,
gave himself permission. Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
So give yourself permission. It is okay. You can get up, you can get started, you can make it out of this. This is just temporary. It's just a season. It's not forever. Of course, when you get trapped, when you're in something, it's kind of difficult for you to be able to see past today. But we've all fallen in a pit at some point in life. You're either coming out of one or you're headed into one, or you hadn't lived long enough to get there. But eventually, you'll understand. You'll have your opportunity because that's just a part of life. But again, Dr. Spanja, thank you so much for today. Let's do a quick recap on your book. I want to make sure people know how to connect with you in regard to purchasing a copy of the book and preparing for your Amazon bestseller campaign on Thursday. And then tell them if they want to be able to work with you, regardless if it's trying to help out with Matthew's House, or perhaps there's a nonprofit person out there that's looking to get started and they want to work with a coach. Tell them how to connect.
Well, you can connect with me at www.drsandra.com. I am coaching and putting a new coaching program together, which is launching in May for beginner nonprofits. I'm also, as she said, pastor. I'm now apostolic. So I'm an apostolic woman. I'm training men and women. Our book release, Disrupting the Status Quo, with 21 remarkable authors. The Amazon bestseller will be on Thursday. I need your support. In order to purchase that book, you go to my website and connect to any one of the authors who will gladly sell the books. I must tell you, and I have to mention this, that as of today, well over 800 pre sale books have been sold. Kudos to those 21 authors who have done a remarkable job.
Yes, 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 yes. Your ladies are on the ball. So proud of each and every one of you. All righty. So with that, that is the conclusion to today's show. So glad to have you guys here. We will look forward to connecting with you again next week on Sunday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Well, we will have an opportunity to interview another one of our contributing authors. Now, for those of you who have not already purchased a copy of the Affirmations for a Woman on the Move journal, feel free. You can go to uncommoncourage.cc /affirm women. Again, uncommoncourage.cc /affirm women, and you can get your copy today. So, again, looking forward to connecting with each one of you. Be sure to pick up your copy, and then we'll see you here next week. Take care.